Hey guys, I'm back, and in this video I'm going to be going over tape-ins and what to avoid when installing them. So in this video I am going to be explaining tape-ins, the process. In this first film that I recorded, this was the first install, and I'm going to be going over between the first install and also the maintenance of it all. So her tape-ins actually did slip out during her second maintenance. When you are installing tape-in extensions, you want to make sure that you do a deep consultation with your client and make sure that you're asking all the right questions. How often do you wash your hair? What is your hair type? Does it get oily fast? When you first apply them, you want to make sure that you don't add any leave-in conditioner, anything that's going to leave the hair too oily, so the adhesive won't stick to the hair. If that's the case, I didn't know that. It's something that I wish I did know before. I also washed her tape in, so you want to make sure when you wash them that you do not get the adhesive in the band wet. Tape ins are removable, they are reusable. You just want to make sure that you wash their hair with a clarifying shampoo before installing, and you want to make sure that there's no extra oils on your hands or anything like that. With tape-in extensions, you want to have your client come in once every 2 weeks for a maintenance. If they have oily hair, or produce a lot of oil or dandruff or anything like that, you want to make sure they come in once a week for maintenance. This happens to be my sister, and she hadn't had a trim in her hair. She hadn't trimmed her hair for an entire year. So this video was in December. So it was the previous December that she had her ends trimmed. So I went in and I gave her a nice little trim. She actually didn't need too much cut off, maybe 2 inches, maybe 2.5. I really went in during this process and took my time. This was my first time installing tape-in extensions, and it came out really cute. I was proud of it. The first time versus the second time of me installing them, I used a replaceable tape, adhesive, and I just made sure that I took my time. When you have a client who wants tape-in extensions usually last you about 12 weeks with maintenance and proper care. Tape-ins are a easy way to get a flat install, and you don't want your hair to be showing that much. So when I went in, I parted her hair from ear to ear. I made sure that her hair was very straight. And then after I parted it from ear to ear, I went in the back of her head in a U-shaped direction. And I just really took my time during this process because she wanted to be able to pull her hair up in a ponytail without it showing. So as you can see, that's what I like to call the comb method. I used a rat tail comb, and I just basically would put the comb in between the part and then pull the hair up. So if you see the comb, that means there's not enough hair left out, and you'll be able to see the tapes once you pull the hair up in a ponytail. And after I did that, I went in with my tapes and I took out a small section and I measured. When your client has thicker hair, you want to make sure that you are stacking these tape-ins on top of each other. For clients with more fine hair, you want to put them sporadically throughout the hair because it won't be as much tension. But since her hair is strong and it's healthy, I was able to stack them. So I used 80 tapes, and which is about 40 clusters. So you use one tape and then put it on top of the other, and that creates a cluster. So I really just took my time. There were a few mistakes that I did make in this process. I feel there were a number of contributing factors to why her tape-in slipped out. I think because I added too much hair in some of them. I didn't press the hair in enough with my rat tail comb and really adhere the hair to the adhesive. And I also feel as though I didn't press my tape-ins enough. When you're doing this process, you really want to make sure that you're using a good enough and a good amount of force. Nothing that will hurt your client and make them be in pain, but just something that you should take into consideration. You don't want to put the tape all the way up to the scalp because that will cause too much tension and it will cause breakage along her hair, her root of her hair. And I also would flip it up and down once I install a few of them just to make sure that it wasn't causing her any pain. And she told me that she wasn't even able to feel it. It was so lightweight and she really enjoyed this. So I keep going in with the measuring method and making sure there's enough hair left out and that it measures to the amount of tape that I'm going to be using on that particular section of her hair. And as I went up, I just basically just went in the U shape. I parted in the same shape and in the same pattern that I created when I originally parted her hair in the comb method. And I really just took my time. I do love taping extensions. This is something that I definitely am going to specialize in. In my later videos, you'll see that I start cosmetology school soon. I have been in the hair industry for 6 years. I feel like I should do a video explaining of my history and what I've been doing and what I've learned along this process as I grow into a cosmetologist. And I really do enjoy this process. Many of you know that, who are subscribed to my channel, that I graduated from Hampton University with a bachelor's degree in entrepreneurship. I never really wanted to be behind the chair 100%. I do love doing hair. I absolutely adore it. But I also want to know the business side of it more. So that's just something a little bit about me, I guess I can explain. And I guess I can get back to the tapes. So when you're installing your tapes, you really want to take your time. I'll keep saying it because you don't want any hair to snag. You just don't want anything like that. You can find replaceable tape from either your vendor or you can find replaceable tape on Amazon. Or I think your local beauty supply store should sell it, but you want to make sure that it's a strong adhesive and you're really doing your research on what companies have the best tape and what do you feel best fits not only your interest but the interest of your client. My flat iron was not on that time. It was on, but the smaller pencil flat iron wasn't on, because you don't want to apply too much heat to the tape because it will slip. So that's also another little hack and another tip that I can give you guys. Your client, like I said, if they have oily hair, they should be coming into you once a week for maintenance. And since her hair in its natural state is so thick and it's just so, I don't want to say it's not coarse at all, but it's very curly and it's very thick. That they're coming into you to get it done and get it maintenance, because when you style it, you know what's best as the stylist. You want to go in with a clarifying shampoo, as I said before. And when you condition, you only want to condition from the mid shaft down. Your client shouldn't be putting any oils in their hair. They should be just letting it do what it needs to do. This is the winter time, so most people's scalp does become a little bit more dry once the winter starts to roll around because of the cold weather. As you can see, this matches her hair perfectly. And then in the front, since her edges are a little thinner, I left out a very decent amount of her hair. I did a middle part as you would do when you're doing a sew-in, and then I left her front out. And I basically did the same thing that I did in the back. I did a U shape, but if you're standing in front of her, it could look like a V shape with parallel lines in between, which is what you want to accomplish. The thicker their hair is, and if their edges are more full, you don't have to leave that much hair out. Just do the comb method and see what works best. With tape and extensions, you're able to do half up, half downs. You're just able to do a lot more and play with it and just have fun with it. When your client does have tape and extensions, you don't want them to apply too much tension if they do a ponytail. You don't want them to add any extra oils in their hair. Edge controls are fine because the tapes are not in that area, but stay away from any extra products that could cause heaviness or cause slippage to the tape ends. So I know I gave her a trim, but I also went in with my Her Strands of Hair scissors, shear scissors, and I just really took my time and framed her face with her hair, and then I went in where her hair would be showing and trim that too, along the sides and the back of her head too, just to blend it. As you can see, her tape ends look seamless. You can't even see them, which is amazing. She loved it. I loved it. And I feel like this is a style that many people should try. As I said before, if you are a beginner hairstylist doing this, or even someone who's a little bit more experienced in this area, you want to make sure that you are doing a deep consultation with your client. Get to know their hair type, get to know their scalp. If they're a new client to you and you already know, if you don't know their hair, just really take your time and ask questions. Write out questions that you feel that you need to ask and that would help the progress of their hair, and help them enjoy their experience. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And also, if you have any questions, follow me on Instagram at winksinc at winks.inc and ask me. Thank you for watching.